Alright, fine, I'll put a shot on today. Right, guys, today we're going to be talking about getting over your ex or getting over someone that you were in love with. I've been in love a few times, mainly through long distance relationships though. Because of the position I was in a few years ago, I didn't meet many new people in real life at all, and so I cultivated all of my friends from the internet, and with that was girls. So, of course, I found myself in some long distance relationships. Some of you might watch this and be like, oh, well, that's not real, Sam, you pussy. I'm not gonna argue that. I don't really give a shit about arguing that right now. What I will say is the feelings I had of love were very real. I was 100% in love. And so I have went through breakups. I've went through periods of time where that love has been taken away from me. And I could argue that it was actually really difficult for me just because of the position I was in. I didn't have many stable outlets for my happiness. So I was very much so a person which would go 100% all in on any sort of relationship that I was in. There's nothing more painful than having that piece of your soul taken away from you, especially when you're not ready for it to be taken away. Maybe it's not your decision. Maybe they don't want to be with you anymore. Maybe they cheat on you, and to respect yourself, you've got to remove yourself from that relationship. Maybe they're just not right for you, and you know that they're dragging you down in some senses. I'm going to be very honest in this video, so as I always am. With my ex-girlfriend, she lived in the Philippines. I was well and truly, completely in love with her. We had been together for like 9 months, and within the space of about 2 days, everything went from 100 to quite literally 0. We're done. And this can happen really easily, especially when you're in the position I was in, where I was objectively a complete loser and I had nothing else going for me other than the relationship. I don't hold any ill feelings towards her at all, because I would do the same. I wouldn't want to be with a loser. And for a really long time, I often thought about, like, why did it end? We had a very shallow argument, incredibly shallow, but it was enough for the relationship to end. The relationship didn't end because of the argument. It ended, I would assume so, because I was a loser and she could probably, get a better man or something. I don't know. I don't really think about it nowadays. But my point being, you shouldn't really think about the reason why something didn't work out. Sometimes some things can't really be understood. Sometimes the reason is very clear. Sometimes the reason is not very clear. And there is zero net benefit to torturing yourself trying to understand someone who perhaps can't be or won't be understood. That breakup is actually, I would say, the reason I started the gym. It was my sort of fuck this moment. I was absolutely sick to death of relying on people and emotions to feel good. And again, I didn't feel good. I was miserable. I was incredibly depressed. Looking at videos of myself from that period of time, especially when I was first starting the gym, I looked like a man who was very much so struggling. This is why I speak so highly of the gym, because literally everyone can benefit from it. My problem was, though, which is the topic of this video, for literally, I'd say like maybe 9 months after the relationship ended, I would sporadically sort of torture myself over like the reasoning and like, oh, I wonder what she's doing now. I'm going to check her Instagram. I'm going to check her Twitter. I very slyly left avenues of me checking on her, for example, open to myself. So to the boys, I would say like, oh yeah, no, I'm over it, guys, and don't even check her shit anymore and blah blah blah. In reality, I'm just gonna be honest again. It's gonna make me sound like a loser, because I was a fucking loser. 2 a.m. would come round and I would feel a very deep pit in my heart, because I still feel like she had a piece of my soul, and so I could not help myself than to check up on her and see what she's doing, check her socials, think about her. I wonder what she's doing now. I wonder why we didn't work out. And still, I'm on this trip to Southeast Asia, and we're talking about where we're going to go next. And one of us mentioned going to the Philippines. And even still to this day, I felt every time Philippines was mentioned, there was like some weird gut punch feeling. So I want you to imagine the damage that you are going to be doing to yourself if you continue to allow yourself to think about her, obsess over her, check her socials, look at old pictures of her and stuff like that, anything like that, just consuming any sort of content or information about them. You are quite literally torturing yourself. I have this mindset which I think I've made up. Basically, start day 0 now. Day 0 is removing them from your peripheral vision, so removing them off social media, get rid of their number, get rid of any pictures, videos you have of them. Just make sure they don't show up on your feed, make sure you don't see them. That's day 0 of healing, and time heals. You need to continually do that until it will get easier to not think about them. And you will have the urge to check them, check up on them, check their socials, see her pictures, because you've literally had a piece of your soul taken away from you. But I'm here to tell you that's not good for you. It's not good. Your mental clarity and your mental health will suffer greatly if you continue to do that. I realized how bad this was when about 9 months in, it was it was 1 a.m. and I was thinking about her. I checked her socials and I can't remember, something triggered something, I don't know, she posted something or something just triggered me, and it made me feel deeply sad. And I literally left the house at 1 a.m. and just started walking around the streets. And I was seriously getting thoughts about throwing myself in front of a fucking car. I wasn't at the point where I was going to do that, but I was it was consciously on my mind, which is not acceptable. I actually called Hamza when I was feeling that way. I called Hamza and we talked while I was just walking around the streets, and I told him how I was feeling, exactly how I was feeling, and what I had been doing with just sporadically just looking and consuming information or content about her. And this shit compounds as well. You might think, oh, it's not a big deal, dude, but if you continue to do that, if you continue to allow them to have this rent in your head, then you're not going to get that piece of your soul back. You're only going to crave more and more and more. And the truth is, you're not together. She's not yours anymore, So deluding yourself into thinking that is literally not allowing yourself to move on. My mindset is, start day 0, remove all that shit from your life, pictures, videos, information, make sure they don't come up on your feed, don't see them, and then as time goes on, it'll be really difficult at first, but as time goes on, it'll get easier and easier and easier, and eventually you will get your soul back. Of course, they will still have a profound effect on you thinking about them. Right now, for example, someone mentioned the Philippines and I still felt that gut punch feeling, but it's not consuming my life. It's not consuming my mental health. It's a healthy way of missing someone. It's normal, You will share that intimacy and those experiences together forever, whether you like it or not. But holding on to that and deluding yourself and constantly reminding yourself of the what if is nothing but torture. So my message to you, if you're in this boat, which I imagine so many people are, start day 0 now. Seriously, it is unacceptable for you to continue to consume content surrounding someone who you're not with anymore. And don't get me wrong, I know how difficult that is. I know how difficult it is to remove them entirely from your life, but it's the only way forward. And you'll find another one. You'll find another person who will make you feel that way. I get this exact feeling every time. I've had a few girlfriends, a few people I've been in love with, and every time I break up with them, it feels like the end of the world and the world has crumbled, because I value relationships incredibly highly. I crave that. I crave the affection and intimacy. And every single time I have the same feeling, my world's falling apart. I'd like to think that is less nowadays because I have a lot more outlets for my happiness. I haven't really experienced that yet though. I haven't really had a proper girlfriend since my Filipino girlfriend. I've certainly had very good interactions with women and stuff like that, but as for sharing pieces of my soul with someone, no, not yet. But I would like to think that I would, be a bit more fucking stable and handle it a lot better this time, next time. We'll see. But I don't know, I'm very much so a man who wears his heart on his sleeve sometimes. So, and again, I feel like I preach this every video, but this is the importance of having very strong friends around you who are looking out for you with your best interest, because they can and will help you push through these hard times. The only thing that will make it easier is time, and you've not started that process if you're still consuming content. You're seeing them, you've got them on your feed, you're texting them. You've not started the process of healing yet if you're still doing that. Start today, for the love of God. Don't get to the point which I got to where I had like a little mini mental fucking breakdown, and I was just like walking the streets at 1 a.m. in Birmingham. You don't want to be out in the streets 1 a.m. in Birmingham, guys. I hope that video is helpful, and I really empathize with you if you're in that situation. I know how fucking painful that is, but I promise you this is the best thing that you need to do, and you need to start right now. Take action, all right? Take care, guys.